Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Madam Chair and members. Deborah Doctor from Disability Rights California. I'm reminded that the governor's proposal includes spending $37 million to avoid paying overtime. Does that seem like a good use of funds when we have people whose hours have been cut? The assumptions that underlie the proposal are not based in fact. There are not 40,000 people dying to be home care workers. If they are, they should step forward because they haven't never been, seen before. And they are not interchangeable. There are people who freak out if they can't get a Coke and don't want a Pepsi. We're talking about people making choices about the most intimate care. This proposal is the biggest erosion in the IHSS program and its underlying principles in the history of the program. It changes the relationship in a fundamental way between the worker and the consumer, who now have to police each other. Remember, it's not just people who themselves get 40 hours a week from one provider. You could have two people who get 25 hours a week, don't know each other, but they happen to employ the same provider. So which one of them is supposed to police the other and make sure, who has to get the new provider? Neither of them gets over 40 hours a week themselves. But is it the person at the end of the week who's supposed to go without a bath if the worker had to spend a little more time with the first consumer? I mean, this is, in real life, as Mark said, it just doesn't work that way. Are we going to force workers to abandon their consumers, give them a choice between working overtime and being truthful about it and then getting banned from working, or working it and not being truthful and putting in a pay form that says they didn't work it, or do what now would be the expected thing to abandon their consumer in the middle of a bath or some other process because otherwise they will trigger overtime. This is just kind of a side note, but there is language in this trailer bill that absolutely must come out. It's plain language insulates private companies, if they are hired as the backup companies, from liability if their workers are negligent or there's an intentional tort against the consumers. I don't believe that that's the intent of the department, but it absolutely has to come out of there. The backup system, the idea that we could get people, within 2 hours anywhere in California, I will repeat what I said before, that without the use of helicopters or maybe drones, I don't see exactly how that would work. The last thing that I want to say has to do with the Supreme Court, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Olmstead decision. Insofar as this policy results in people not getting services to which they are entitled, and they have to go to institutions or they are threatened with institutionalization, this, on the face of it, would violate the Americans with Disabilities Act and put the state and the consumers at different but great kinds of risk. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. We thank you for your enthusiasm as well, but we're just going to have these kind of claps for the future, if that's okay. Thank you very much. All right, Senator Motting, do you have any questions of this panel?
No, I don't. Mr. Meckles. Thank you.
Okay, all right. We're going to now go to public comment. Thank you very much to all of the panelists. We very much appreciate you being here. Thank you for your thoughtful testimony. Public comments, and we're going to stick to 1 minute, please. I'm very sorry we're limited, but we want to make sure everybody who's here has an opportunity to speak. Thank you all very much.
No.
Good afternoon.
My name is Janet McLean, and I'm a recipient of IHSS. And I just wanted to make a comment. If we're doing so well with this program, why am I standing in a food line? Every week I have to go to a food bank because my husband doesn't get enough hours. And now you're threatening him with a 40-hour overtime. So he's going to be punished for trying to do good. That's an oxymoron. I am tired of showing up every year, 3 or 4 times a year, because this program has to be cut. It's a great program. My husband gets calls every week from the registry. They need a Spanish speaking, they need this, they need that, to go over and work something. Now he's not going to be able to. And they're right. There's not enough workers. It takes a special person to do this job. A person with a huge heart. They are not in it for the money. Please understand that. They do it because they have heart. And that's what we want from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon again. They're right. There's not enough workers. Our registries don't have enough workers now. Sometimes you have to get 2 or 3 lists now if you want a worker from our registries in our counties. You've got to understand this is not going to be an easy transition for consumers. I'm the chair of the Public Authority Advisory Board in Alameda County. I just last week got appointed for that position, but it's Alameda County and California is unique, and our consumers are unique, and our workers deserve those 40 hours, and they deserve to be able to have overtime. But at the same time, they deserve to have all their hours. If the consumers have their full hours, they deserve to have that. And consumers don't deserve to have a limit on the hours. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Carmen Rivera Hendrickson from Alameda County as well. I used to be the chair of the Alameda County. I have 3 questions that I would like to know if you guys can answer. One, the CCI. There's 65,000 people on Medi-Cal that receive Kaiser. They're not on this. They don't qualify for the CCI because we have to stay in Medi-Cal fee for service because the services are not provided for people for Kaiser. So what are we going to do about that? We also have 13,000 in Alameda County alone that only have one provider. 13,000, not 1 or 2, 13,000. I am one of those. Nobody's willing to do all my oxygen equipment stuff, my paramedical needs, and everything that I have on a daily basis. So I had to resource to somebody that was part family just because I raised them. That's the only connection between him and me is because I raised him. So how are we going to do that? I've been searching for somebody, not found nobody that's willing to do it. And that's for the last 7 years. And I've been on IHSS for the last 15 years, since my husband broke my neck. So what are we going to do about that? And there is providers that rather have to work all the hours that they're given and not have to deal with this overpayment or this getting kicked out or being put out because they did the overtime. My provider says, I'd rather keep your full hours and help you fully than having you not have nobody here. Because when you don't have nobody here, you end up in the hospital. Because my medical care, my equipment has to be managed every 2 to 3 hours. because I can go from talking to not breathing in just one instant. And that's just me. Imagine all the other ones that don't have that privilege, those that can't speak for themselves, those that can't say anything or do anything. So those are the ones I come here to fight for, as well as myself. And as I said earlier, the 40-hour week will kill us. I will be homeless, and I flatly refuse to go into an institution. I flatly saw what my grandparents went through. I don't need that crap. I'd rather be on the street where I know what I can do and do with it, what I can't do in an institution, because they completely segregate you. And they make you feel inferior. So that's what I'd rather do.
Thank you very much. If we can please stick to 1 minute, that would be great.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for turning my back to the crowd. I appreciate everyone who came out. God bless you. Hi.
Hello.
Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, we are. I had no plans to speak today, but as a child of God, I will no longer stand quietly by while my brothers and sisters who are providers are being unjustly in bad situations. At least 90% of us are just a paycheck away from not being able to pay our bills and our rent. I just wanted to ask you to hear the truth and please listen to your inner spirit and do what is right for the providers. We need you for our voices. We cannot stand a cut in hourly wages. So may God lead you in your decision making on this matter. In Jesus' name, thank you.
Thank you. Can you please tell us your name?
Cassandra Carter from Shasta County, Reading.
Thank you very much.
And also from Cool.
Thank you very much. All right. Good afternoon.
My name is Heather Starr, and I came here with something specific to say, but when I listen to everybody else, all I have to ask you is, how is this fair? I was one of the first of, us disabled. We were one of the first people to be cut with Social Security, and now you're punishing us even further by taking away our right to choose who we want to take care of our bodies. How is that right? It should straight be illegal to do that. I was told when I started IHSS, it was my right and my responsibility to choose my provider and to train them. I've already done that. I have trained my provider. I don't want to have to find somebody else and learn how to trust other people. It's just not fair.
Thank you very much for being here.
My name is Michael Patterson. I'm from Tuolumne County, and I'm a provider for Heather. And we thought we were being responsible, and we bought ourselves a modest house. And I own half, and she owns half, and we each take care of our house. But if you cut my pay, I don't know how we're going to afford a mortgage, and it would make us homeless. And I've worked for years without overtime, and when the state had to make cuts, I was proud as a Californian to take a cut like everyone else to make ends meet. But everyone else is getting back their money and their pay and not having to go on furloughs. Why can't we get what we deserve? And why can't we get a little bit of justice and get paid overtime? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrea, and I take care of
I used to take care of 3 clients. And by cutting their hours, one of my clients died 2 weeks ago. And I don't do this job because I do it because I have compassion for elderly people. And how would anybody want to be taken care of when they got elderly and sick and not being able to care for themselves? And I'm from Butte County, and we just can't take these cuts no more, and neither can our clients. I have a client that's schizophrenic, and the only person that she trusts is me. Anybody else she wouldn't trust and she wouldn't get along with. And my other client, well, he's an alcoholic, and he wouldn't trust anybody else either. And I love my clients. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
My name is Maria Cardenas. I represent Fresno County, and I'm here to ask you, please help us not to get those cuts. Because I'm one of those people that I'm deaf, I'm disabled, I take care of my mother, and this is my only income. I get $985 a month, and that's the only income I have to pay from the shelter to support my daughter. If you take that away from me, I'll be forced to be living in the streets. I'll be forced to ask the government to give me food stamps and cash aid. That's something that I do not want to do. I want to be able to provide for my kids, my daughter, my mother, for myself, without asking anybody. It's either you guys help me, please. Don't take that away from me. Don't take it away. Don't take it away from all the other people that are here. They do need it. Nobody else is going to hire me because of my disability. You take this away from me, you leave me hopeless. I'll be forced to live on the street because nobody else, the governor's not going to hire me. If he hires me, I'll be glad to give up my hours. But I know he won't. This is how I survive. This is my life. This is my whole world. Please do not destroy it. Please help us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Annie Anderson, and I am a care provider for my son, Charles Anderson. He's 38 years old. And I just have a slight story that I want to just tell y'all. When he was born, I didn't know that he was mentally retarded until 3 months passed by. And when the doctor told me that he had that problem, I took upon that road to say, well, that's my gift from God, and it doesn't matter how it came to me. My job and my love for him is going to take care of him. So as he progressed to get older, I stayed with him. I refused to take him to a facility, which the doctor said when he get kind of like 20 or 21 years old that he would have to be put in a facility. And I said, well, no, I'm not going to let that happen. And I took care of my son, right along with the other siblings. I have 3 other children that were sick, that had sickle cell, so I had to take care of all of them by myself. The father was in. So as he became older, then it started getting really, really difficult. And now that I come from another part of I come from Texas, and when I moved here, a lady turned me on to the in-home service, supportive service. And when I went up there to talk to the peoples, he's been approved. And because when I came here, I tried looking for a job, and there was no jobs, because I am a worker. So when I didn't find a job, I said, well, I got on the in-home service, and so things was just looking good for me. You know, I was being able to take care of him, pay my bills, and do all the things that I needed to do for him at home, you know. So now it's really frightening right now because he's an older man now, and he needs more care. And now with the governor's proposal to cut our wages in the 40 hours, that's impossible for me to do. There's just no way that I can do it. I live in a 2-cramped, small bedroom with 2 little grandchildren that I took up on the road to take care of them too. And with 4 people in a bedroom, each shares bedroom with my grandson and then my granddaughter and then I. But, you know, I just don't see how I could make it on being cut like that, because it would be, you know, just devastating on me. And I wouldn't want to go live with my children. I don't want to go live with someone else. I did that, and that just didn't work. So I find God blessed me to get a little 2-bedroom. And now, you know, I'm okay, but I still would be hurting if the governor was to take those hours away from me. I wouldn't be able to feed him. I mean, he's a good eater, you know, he's a healthy man. Believe it or not, he's never been to the hospital. He's never had no kind of other complications, because I took greatly care of him. I do everything for him. He's dependent on me verbally, one-on-one, you know, whatever. I had to do all of that. And now, if it comes to a point that someone else comes in to take care of him, he will not let that happen. He just barely do let his own siblings help him and take care of him, and he just don't want them doing nothing for them. He want his mama, and I've been his mama for 38 years. Until God come and take me, I'm still going to be his mama, and I still want to take care of my son until death do us part. So I'm asking the governor, please, don't do that to my son. Don't do it to me. Because in order for him to know how I feel, he have to walk in our shoes. And I'm pretty sure, ma'am, he wouldn't want to walk in my shoes, because it's a daily thing that I go through every day. Because when my son was in daycare, adult daycare, I had to take him out of there because nobody can handle him but me. And they called me, and I had to go and get him. Finally, I had to take him out because they just couldn't handle it anymore. So now he's with me full time. So I love him, and like I said, I'm going to take care of my son until death do us part. And I just want to thank y'all for listening to my story. All right.
Thanks for being a great mom. And let's please try to stick to 1 minute, please, everyone. Thank you. There's a lot of people standing in line. I'm going to give them all a chance.
Am I okay in here, ma'am?
Yes,
okay.
You're fine.
Good afternoon. My name is Gloria Gaviola, and I'm from the Contra Costa County. I have a son who is developmentally disabled ever since he was born, or ever since he was 6 months old. He had been under my care 24 hours, 7 days a week. He goes to a day program, but even in the day program, they couldn't handle him sometimes. He runs away when he's home, when, I'm just turning my back and he runs away. Three cities around us where we live in Brentwood have the records that from the police department, that they have all the records showing that they have been picking him up somewhere because he runs away. He's beyond uncontrolled. And I have tried several times to hire somebody, but he never cooperates at all, and he fights also. So being the plan of the governor to have this cut for us, the more it will jeopardize his life. He is not going to be in a normal life. So I am pleading that please help us to maintain the way it is right now for the good of my son. I'm a single mother. And because of this cut, it will also affect our way of living.
Thank you.
That's all I would like to say.
Thank you very much. Hello. Glad to see another Raiders fan.
I know. I know, he had to wear that. I'm Michelle Franklin, and this is my son, Angel Franklin. We're from Contra Costa County. And this is going to affect me, Angel, and the state. First of all, I'm going to lose out probably what is my rent. You know, I pay my rent once a month. I will become homeless. I will be in the food stamp line. And Angel, because of his behaviors, he's dual diagnosed, mentally disabled. He's mentally ill as well as delayed. He is not going to end up in a group home. He will be institutionalized. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to live with myself. Angel's allotted 21 days a year for respite. We have never, ever been able to take advantage of that. Because usually the first night I receive a phone call. Miss Franklin, we've called the police. Either you need to come and pick him up or he will be going with the police station. And I don't know how anybody can deal with that. And how can the governor penalize me for working over 40 hours a week when I've done it all his whole life? And I'm going to continue to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hey, my mom, the rest of my life. Love her.
Thank you very much, Angel.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise Hunter, and this is my son, Justin Hunter. I've been caring for him for 23 years, and out of those 23 years, he was hospitalized for 2 of those years when he was 2 years old for hydrocephalus, which one of the shunts they placed gave him brain damage. I am his voice. I am his sole provider. And what Governor Brown is proposing, he's going to cause to put me and my son in poverty, and possibly place my son in an institution which would totally kill me. We all care for our children. We all care for each, all these providers here care for someone. And I just ask that you just place it on your hearts and to really talk to Governor Brown about finding a way to fix this, to save our families and the recipients of providers. And I just thank you for your time.
Thank you. If you can just push that little red button. Perfect.
My name is Mary Duarte, and I'm just here to beg the governor to stop doing those cuts because we do need it.
Thank you.
I can't afford to pay too much rent, but I'm trying my best to live the better life for my daughter and me because we're the only ones that, live by ourselves. And with the money I get, I don't hardly have any to buy groceries and stuff like that, because I have to pay my bills and I have to do things, But I try to make it. Sometimes it's difficult for me because I have to go where they're giving food and I have to ask for food because I don't have enough money to buy the groceries. But that's why I'm here to beg him not to cut no more hours from our checks because this was now all the cuts he's been making, we're barely making it. And I'm just here to ask him, please don't cut any more hours from our check.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.